everybody, and thanks for joining me on this anniversary video of my tri-malleolar fracture and ORIF surgery. Before we go any further, I just want to give a big shout out to Jacob, who's working the camera for me today. Thanks, Jacob. Jacob's my grandson who was with me when the accident happened. He's about 2 feet taller today than he was then. He's almost as tall as me. But it's a year and 2 days ago since the accident happened, when I was trying to demonstrate a stunt to Jacob on his scooter. The stunt didn't quite come off as intended, and I was taken to hospital. And it's exactly a year ago today that I underwent surgery to insert a plate and screws into my damaged ankle. At that time, I was put in a non-weight bearing cast for about 2 weeks, and after that time I had more x-rays and the suture was taken out and another non-weight bearing cast was put on. And I got around with the use of crutches until that was taken off, say after about 6 weeks, and I had more x-rays, and although there was a slight hairline fracture visible, the doctor was content for me to do without a cast, and I used a moon boot for about another 2 or 3 weeks, and I also received physiotherapy and was given exercises to do by the physiotherapist. And if there's one golden piece of advice that I would give to anyone in all of this, it's to listen to what your physiotherapist tells you and to do the exercises, and then do them and do them and do them. So, how is the ankle doing 12 months on? Well, you can see the scar, and it's healed very well, and it has faded a little bit too. So I'm quite pleased with that. There are a couple of things which I would point out to you. One is this area of staining here, and I have another area on the front here which are 2 dark patches, and they were present when I had the cast removed before the moon boot. And I did ask the doctor about it, and he said that it was iron from my blood which had been absorbed by the skin. And I've done a little bit of research on that, and as far as I can tell, that's called hemosiderin staining. And unfortunately, it's more likely to be permanent than not. So I think I'm stuck with that patch there and the patch on the shin, probably for good. But the ankle itself has healed really well. As you can see, I can move it around. I can do everything that I could do before the accident happened. I'm not inhibited in any way, and I'm virtually pain-free. There's only 2 little things which I would say is that if I'm sat in any position for a length of time, say half an hour or 45 minutes, and I get up, then I do have a little bit of stiffness in my ankle, which takes 2 or 3 steps, and once I've done that, I'm back to normal. And the other thing is, there is a little bit of tightness where I think the plate is under here. And if I move my ankle or my leg or foot in certain positions, I can feel the skin stretch over it, and it feels really tight. But I just move the ankle a little bit and it's gone. So that's neither here nor there really. So I'm delighted with how things have gone, and I'd say I'm 99.9% back to how I was before the accident. So that's about it really. The anniversary video. I think I'm as recovered as I'm going to be. So I'd really like to say a big thank you to the paramedics who came and helped me out on that day. I'd like to give a big thank you to the doctors and the nurses in the emergency room who set my ankle for me and put my dislocated ankle back in. in place. I'd like to give a big thank you to the doctors and nurses who performed the surgery and looked after me, and a big thank you to the physiotherapists who've helped me and give me great exercises along the way to recover, and a thank you to Jacob for doing all the camera work on the videos. I hope the videos have been of some use to people, to give you a bit of insight as to what happens during the recovery period, and the fact it's quite a nasty injury, and it takes some time to recover from, anything from 12 to 18 months. So it's a long slog, but for anyone who's suffered that injury, I hope it all goes well for you, or as well for you as it has for me, and that you're back on your feet and doing all the things that you could do before the accident. You do that as quickly as possible. So with that, I think I'll give you a quick tap dance, and we'll call that it.